Hey there, and welcome to my channel. My name is Tanya. For those of you who are new to my channel or just stumbled across it, hello and welcome. Also, welcome back to all of my people that join me weekly and every few days whenever I tend to upload all of my new content. You guys are all amazing. You know, I tell you in every video, but I'm going to tell you in every single video. We are getting our subscriber count up a little bit by little. I want to hit that 200 subscriber count mark. So if you guys could please hit the subscribe button if you do like the content, that would be great. So here we talk a little bit about everything on my channel. Really, we really do. But some of the topics that we do cover, these are including and not limited to trauma from loss, injury, or accident. And some of the topics that we do go over in my channel are the prosthetic eye, the loss of a body or a body part or organ, loss of a loved one, house fires, car accidents. We living in this COVID-filled world, you know, that we're living in right now. We do a lot of those. Reviews, we have giveaways, contests, makeup tutorials, workout tutorials, Q&As, and more. So if that's something that you're interested in and that might interest you, maybe you want to learn more because you just want educational purposes, or maybe something like this has happened to you and you want to learn more how you can be in a group with some people that are like-minded and like you. If that's something you're interested in, then please, hit the subscribe button below and then the bell icon to be alerted of all of my new content that I do post. I post weekly. So I do post every Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then I come back, and that's actually an instant premiere, and then I come back on at 7 p.m. for a live Q&A with you guys, so we just discuss anything that's on our minds at the moment, and we just come together as kind of like a unit, so it's kind of nice to do that. So like I said, just go ahead and click that subscribe button, the bell icon to be alerted. YouTube is doing a new thing, so I just want to let you guys know that if you're not alerted, if you don't have the bell icon on, make sure that you do, because you may not see my new videos posted. They're doing something different in the analytics. That's the easiest and the short and cut and dry way for me to tell you guys, because if not, we'll be here all night. So anyway, we do have a Cash App if you'd like to support the channel that way as well. It's titanium built, and if you see my little sign behind me, you'll see that it does say it on the back right behind me there. So and then you can donate anything from $1 on up, and anything that you guys donate I'll shout out in the next live or the next video that I do audio, because that means the world to me. Also, last but not least, sorry, one more thing, I am not an MD. I don't claim to be one. These are just personal accounts that I have, personal knowledge, and if I don't know the answer, I do look it up and I make sure, and I always double check my work. So if there's something that I'm missing, please drop it in the comments, because I need to know and I would love to know, because I always have questions myself. So without further ado, let's get into the story that we're going to be talking about today, and the topic that we're going to talk about today, I should say. I had a comment on my page, and I can't remember the exact wording of the comment, but it said something about how I seem so coordinated in things like that. So I kind of wanted to do a video on maybe why I might appear or seem coordinated compared to someone else. So this is going to be about my month at Dodd Hall, and here we go. So without further ado, Dodd Hall is a rehabilitation center at OSU Hospital here in Ohio. It's Ohio State University. It's their hospital that they have there on campus. At Dodd Hall, they specialize in helping people regain control of their life and mobility. They do this by using PT, OT, and speech therapy, and etc. There's many other things that they do there also. PT stands for physical therapy, and OT stands for occupational therapy. The difference of the two is physical therapy is more hands-on with you physically, like your walking, your mobility, things like that, where occupational therapy and OT, they are kind of behind the scenes, I want to say, like your life and your home and the way that, you take care of yourself, like bathing and cooking and putting things together and hand and eye and coordinated movements and stuff like that. So that's kind of the best way, short answers for me to describe the two for you guys. Patients that come into this hospital usually have a disease or birth defect, congenital defect, or have had like a sudden trauma, such as a car accident like myself. So I was the only one on the 5th floor that had been there that was just for a car accident. Most of the patients there were stroke patients and things like of that nature. And so the nurses really took to me because I could actually like kind of talk back with them, and I was a little they were more scared, even though I was terrified. I think that's why they kind of came off a little more rough with them, and I didn't. So I stayed here roughly 3 weeks out of my month stay in the hospital. Before going over to Dodd Hall, I had to go through a few steps and hurdles to make sure that my body was healthy enough for me to go over there. You know, your body has to be healthy enough and your mind has to be healthy enough to start taking on these extra exercises and things like that you're going to be having to do, you know, whenever you are switched over to a rehabilitation center compared to a regular hospital. Before going over, a few of the steps that I had to do to make sure that I was, you know, healthy enough to go over was I had to have my catheter removed. That was traumatizing in itself. That'll be another story for a different day, but I did have to have my catheter removed. I had to be able to go to the bathroom on my own, at least in a bedpan, because they were going to teach me how to use a bathroom again at Dodd Hall. That's how bad my accident was. I also had to come off of the pain medication that I was on at the regular hospital because it was a dilaudid pump where you just pressed a button every 10 minutes or so and it would give it to you intravenously. I had to be able to have to take medication like pill form, and it wasn't going to be as strong. So that was very scary because I knew that my body was going to need the strongest stuff that it had because of the injuries that my body had. Being told that I had to go to a rehabilitation center really upset me. I thought I would be able to go home with my mother. My mother could take care of me and my body, you know, would heal on its own. Not realizing this at the time that I needed really good specialists. I needed doctors. I needed real surgeons, real doctors, real specialists there to help me. And this place really, really delivered, and it had it all for me. After getting my room, I then had a schedule that I would follow every morning. And if any of you guys have been to a rehabilitation center due to, like, you know, maybe a trauma that you were here on the channel with or something, or if you want to talk about it, drop it in the comments because I would love to know how your experience went compared to mine. Mine was really great, but I just want to hear other people's experience, you know, on theirs as well. So after getting my room, you know, and everything, I would follow a schedule. So every morning I would maybe have like a PT or OT at 8 a.m. And then I would have like a little break, maybe lunch. And then I would go back in the afternoon and I would do PT and OT again. Normally I did PT twice a day and OT once a day for 3 hours altogether of total time being up and out of the room. So whenever I got my little breaks, I really enjoyed them, even though 3 hours doesn't sound like a lot. When you're 2 of those hours, you're on your feet that are broke, your legs that are broken, and your foot that's messed up, and has compartment syndrome, and it has, you know, rods coming out of it. It's not a fun experience to know that you have to be on your feet that long at all. So here's the first day. So let me know how your experience went. So the first day of PT, I couldn't stand like on my legs at all. They had metal rods put into my tibia bones. So the bottom of your leg, the front bone, that is your tibia bone. I had shattered my tibia and my fibia. Both of them were shattered, and my bone actually came out, and I had compartment syndrome in my right leg, which is where it just swells and there's pressure. So when I had the metal rods put in, my legs were still completely crushed, but I was able to stand on my legs because I had metal rods, if that makes sense. It didn't to me at the time. If it doesn't make sense to you now, it's okay. Because this is what ended up happening. I ended up having my CO levels go down, and they hit about 70 something, almost I believe in the 60s. I can't remember exactly for sure, but I remember they were super bad. They ended up taking me up to my room right away, and I ended up having to get a ventilator. So they ended up having to give me oxygens because I couldn't even breathe very well on my own. That's how bad the anxiety was for me having to stand up just on my legs. They wanted me to stand up and just take a step, and I said no. So they had me on a ventilator for a couple of days. After a couple of days, we decided to try it again, and this was kind of what started my journey, because that day I ended up walking 5 feet, and it was the greatest feeling ever when I like stood up and then I walked like the first step and then the second, and I got like 5 feet. I felt really, really empowered, and I felt really good because I didn't think that I was going to have my legs. And so for me to be able to go from maybe you won't have your legs after this surgery, maybe you won't have your legs after this surgery, to you have your legs, but we hope your feet don't drop. And now you're working on your feet not dropping, and you're working on your legs. So it was a great feeling. It was a great day. I'll never forget it. Next, I met with my doctor, and he was my OT doctor. He was super handsome, so that helped me want to learn, So he taught me day-to-day activities, how to cook, how to grab things out of the cabinet, how to try not to burn myself while cooking, because I could do that, and then I'd be back in the hospital. How to shower, things like that. Basic home and health needs, pretty much. I was not allowed to actually cook whenever I first got home because they didn't want me just to have I was in a wheelchair. If something were to happen and I burnt myself, then I would be back in the hospital, so I wasn't allowed to cook. So my first week there, I think I walked about 150 feet altogether with PT, and by the time I left, I was at 700 feet, and I was up, like, able to grab things with help of the reach. It was a reacher thing, like the hand helps you grab, and you just hold it at the bottom. So things like that, I was able to bring stuff out of the cabinet and put it back up, like boxes and things. By the time I left, I was at like, 700 feet, I believe. So I could walk with a walker, only using this is how I walked. I want you guys to stand up. It's an exercise time. So we're all going to do this exercise. I'm going to do it sitting, but you guys are going to be standing. Okay, so stand up with both feet on the floor. I'll give you a second. Okay. And now pick up your left leg and bend it so you're only using your right leg. So you're standing only on one leg right now, your right leg. Put your right arm down as if you were holding onto like a walker. And then put your left elbow up as if it was sitting on something up here. Don't put your foot back down. That's how I had to learn how to walk. I'll have to stand up and show you guys exactly sometime. I wish I had a walker. It was crazy. I had to learn to go upstairs like this. That was probably the scariest. I had to like learn how to go up one step, and then that was it on that. And then I learned how to go down, and then I learned how to actually do it on steps. It was, I don't know, but I did it. But I got it all done, and I was told, I could walk, if I could walk 500 feet with my walker, whenever I got home, I would not have to do the 2 shots of the Lovenox shots. They're blood thinners in my stomach. So I was down to make sure that I did those 500 steps every day, because I was like not going to do, I did not like the shots. I don't mind shots. I just didn't like them, and I just didn't want to have to do them. So if you don't have a cheerleader there to cheer you on during your journey every day, it's okay. I didn't either. I didn't have not one cheerleader down there rooting me on other than my physical therapy team. It was just me and them, and I got through it. And so you just have to take those little milestones for yourself And just make sure that you know that you're doing this for you, because nobody else can do this but you. If you want to learn how to walk again, guess what? You have to be the one willing to put in the work and commit, because those aren't your mom's legs. Those aren't your brothers, sisters, friends, cousins, girlfriends, boyfriends. They're your legs. You have to do them. You have to do it. You have to do the walking and the wrapping and the elevating and the resting and the dry or the cold packs and the heat packs, and the, just like with your eye, you know. If you want to see better in an eye that's not blind, you have to be wearing glasses. You have to be wearing sunglasses. You have to be taking the time away from the computer every 2 hours. Rest your eyes 20 seconds. Just rest them. Whenever they're a little tired, just rest them for a second. It's okay. You can take a 5-second break and rest your eyes for 20 seconds, you know? Just make sure that you are taking them vitamins and you're living healthy, to make sure that those organs, you know, that we do have left, they stay vital and they stay healthy and they're in charge, you know, because we're not getting any younger and our body is going to get older as well. So I got through my 3 weeks at Dodd. I had 97 staples removed, almost lost my legs, but thankfully the surgeon saved those. My legs were in danger of dropping, but I made sure I did everything I could not to let that happen, and it didn't, including shock therapy. I ended up making a new family there. The nurses, the doctors, the team, the staff, down to the people that changed the trash in the hospital rooms, all my family. They knew me more intimately than most people did, and most people ever will. And I'm glad and I'm grateful I went. And I'm glad that I put in the work. And if I had to do it all again and I had to pick another hospital to go to rehabilitation at for my rehab alone, I'm glad that I went to Dodd Hall, because they are the #1 in Ohio. And they should be like the #1 in the country, because they rock. So I do want to give them credit where credit is due. And that is going to be it for me for today. I did want to give you a little story about how I went in Dodd Hall. If you have any questions over my journey, or if you've made it this far and you would love to still subscribe, I would love that. We are going to be doing giveaways, contests, makeup reviews, like I said. I do tutorials. I do any kind of topics that you would like to hear about. Just drop them down below. Check out my About Me. It kind of gives a little bit about me, and you know what the channel is about there too, and see what kind of topics we go over. If it's a topic that's not listed, you can message me at titaniumbuilt@gmail.com, and just let me know what your concern is, and I can look it up for you, and I can let you know if I can help you with it or not. And I love you guys, and you guys have a wonderful evening, and I will see you next time.